I'm here today in the magnificent Guy Fawkes River National Park, one of over 850 national parks and reserves that we are fortunate to have in this state. For over 50 years, governments and conservation organisations just like ours, the National Parks Association of New South Wales, have worked hard together to create one of the world's most significant reserve systems. We have 9% of New South Wales now in reservation, protecting over 1,000 threatened species that we have in this state. But the job, of course, is not done. We need to build a reserve system to nearly 18% of the state to be able to protect as many species and habitats as we need to ensure that the wildlife that we experience today is there for future generations.
Biodiversity conservation is the primary purpose of protected areas. High levels of biodiversity keep ecosystems healthy and resilient, which means that they can continue providing vital ecosystem services such as climate regulation, air and water purification, and pollination. Protecting biodiversity is vital to safeguard our economy, our cultural, spiritual and aesthetic values, as well as the intrinsic value of species and ecosystems. Our system of national parks and protected areas is the cornerstone of conservation in New South Wales. Currently, we have 850 protected areas in New South Wales, including national parks, nature reserves, state conservation areas, Indigenous protected areas, and regional parks. These are vital for stabilisation and recovery of threatened species. National parks and other reserves provide a backbone of core conservation areas in New South Wales, which can then be linked by conservation efforts on all land tenures across the landscape. There are many pressures on native species and ecosystems, including land clearing for agriculture, mining and urban expansion. In recent times, over-exploitation from inappropriate activities such as on-park infrastructure, logging, fishing and the ever-present threat of invasive species have been an enormous problem for our protected areas. The New South Wales State Government's new Save Our Species strategy will rely on the continued development of a well-managed, comprehensive, adequate and representative reserve system that is connected by private land, managed for conservation, just like the Great Eastern Ranges initiative, of which the National Parks Association of New South Wales is one of the lead partners.